Hello. Okay, so here we have Thomas le Latymer. He was a Knight of the Garter as well as being Chamberlain to the King. He lived born circa 1270 and died 1334. As you can notice here, his bassinet, he definitely has an Aventel on it that's underneath the bassinet. And the bassinet actually has a comb or a ridge on the top of it. It's fairly distinct, as you can see. And of course you can see the features of the figure itself. It was originally painted. There were discoveries of some original paint from the 14th century. However, it's not been maintained in its present state. Also, you can see the shield, and we'll step back for some perspective on that. He actually is riding high up on his shoulders, probably about like 3 or 4 inches above his shoulder. It's held on by a goujon strap, and you can see the point will roughly come down to about his waist, which gives you a measurement. It is fairly narrow in comparison to the figure, but of course he is very slender. You can see his sword, definitely cross guard, and of course you can see the detail that's on the strapping that mounts it, as well as handle. And then of course he has his belt in the standard knight's knot, so to speak, but you can also see a small rectangular buckle, and you can kind of make out a tang that comes through, so those probably had holes in it to hold it. You really can't make it out here in the video. And of course all you can see is his surcoat. It goes down there, and he definitely has some knees on here. No representation of mail on the carving itself, so it's fairly plain, but you can see there's a definitely strong central ridge on this, and it comes down. You can't really make out any of the other details because they kind of bleed into the wood where it comes out. Strong ridge on his calves, very narrow, very petite. And of course the traditional hound that his feet are resting on and his legs are crossed, which sometimes indicates that he took crusade, but there's no reference that he did, but it was a fashionable item. You can definitely see some spurs on here. From this side you can't see much, but I'll transfer over to the next side and we'll be able to see on here, as you see the figure stretched out before us. Also, from this side you can definitely see on his spurs, you can see buckles and extra loops, and you can what appears to be shoes. But on this one you can definitely tell it's a rowel that's on the spur. You can't see it on the other one, maybe that has broken off in the past. Here you go, you can see the knee on here, and of course the surcoat. You can see that it's very full, especially on the sides, and unfortunately the detail on the knee gets lost and blends into the rest of the leg shape that's there, so you can't really make out the rest of the detail. So I'm assuming that that was probably picked out in paint and just the bold lines were there. Here we go, you can see there's some damage there from burrowing insects, etc. There's a different angle of the buckle. Hopefully we can see a little bit more detail on that. And of course the knightly knot and the sword. You can actually see it's quite a long pommel there, and then you can make out clearly the back of the shield. Oops, sorry, got out of angle there. There are representations of gauntlets, or what I'm assuming to be gauntlets are. They're gloved, but they're very close fitting to the figure's arms, as you see in most representations, but they definitely follow the line of the arms and are quite flexible. You really can't make out an elbow cop. Ran out of disk space, so there the video stopped abruptly. Anyways, here we are back at it. You can see the goujon strap. He's definitely wearing his Aventel. No idea if it's fabric or mail or whatever. Again, you can see the figure of it clearly made out. He's actually descended from a Danish settler, believe it or not, who had come into the area. Now see here, you can see the definite comb in his helmet, and it's of a round bassinet variety. You can see it goes down quite a bit. There's no indications of revels. There's some modeling and stuff that at first I thought might have been revels, but they're actually knots in the wood. Like I said, I have not been able to find any examples of armor other than the knees, the gloves, and the helmet, other than the sword and shield. Like I says, it's all cloth. It could be probably that he was male, but it was never carved into the detail, and it's probably painted on there as well. So this is Thomas le Latymer, the first Lord Latimer.